It's midnight, and I'm under my pickup truck changing the oil when I hear my wife giggling on the phone by the open kitchen window. The sound cuts through the humid Pennsylvania air like a knife through butter, and something about her tone makes me freeze with the wrench halfway to the drain plug. "Oh, you're terrible," she whispers into the phone, and I can practically hear her twirling her hair like she's 16 again. "Just dropping by to say hi? You know what happened last time you said that." My name is David Mitchell, and I've been married to Jennifer for 18 years. I run a small engineering firm here in Bleakwater, Pennsylvania, a town that's seen better days since the textile mills closed down. Most folks around here know each other's business better than their own, which makes what I'm hearing through that window all the more dangerous. "Mom, don't do this to Dad again," comes our daughter Emma's voice from inside the house. She's 21, home from college for the summer, and apparently she knows something I don't. "Emma, honey, it's not what you think," Jennifer says, but her voice has that practiced quality I've heard her use with difficult clients at the law firm where she works. She's a real estate attorney, always networking, always in meetings that run late into the evening. "I heard you last night," Emma continues, and my grip tightens on the wrench. "And the night before. Jake's been here 3 times this week." Jake Morrison, Jennifer's high school sweetheart, the one who got away, the personal trainer who runs the fancy gym on the other side of town, the guy who's been dropping by to say hi for the past 6 months, always when I'm supposedly at work or at Murphy's boxing gym. "It's complicated, sweetheart," Jennifer says, and I hear her footsteps moving toward the window. I slide deeper under the truck, my heart hammering against my ribs. "How intense was last night?" Jake's voice comes through the phone speaker, loud enough for me to hear every cocky syllable. "Because I'm still thinking about that thing you did with—" "Jake, stop," Jennifer cuts him off, but she's laughing. "Emma's right here." I lie there in the darkness under my truck, oil dripping onto my forehead, and something inside me goes perfectly, crystalline clear. Not angry, not hurt, just clear. Like when you're working on a complex engineering problem, and suddenly all the variables align, and you can see the solution with mathematical precision. I've been played. Again. The first time was 3 years ago, when Jennifer had her girls' trip to Atlantic City that turned out to be a weekend with her college roommate's brother. I found the hotel receipts, confronted her, and she cried and apologized and promised it would never happen again. I believed her because I wanted to believe her, because we had Emma to think about, because 18 years of marriage doesn't just evaporate overnight. Or so I thought. "I should go," Jennifer says into the phone. "David will be home soon." "Does he suspect anything?" Jake asks, and I can picture his smug face, the way he flexes his biceps when he talks to women, the way he drives that ridiculous red Camaro like he's still in high school. David, please. He's too busy with his little engineering projects to notice what's happening in his own house. Besides, he trusts me. The past tense of that statement hits me like a physical blow. Trusted. Past tense. Because as of this moment, lying under my truck at midnight, listening to my wife plan her next rendezvous with her personal trainer, that trust is officially extinct. I hear the back door close and footsteps crossing the yard. Jennifer appears at the edge of my vision, her bare feet pale in the moonlight. "David, what are you doing out here so late?" I slide out from under the truck, wiping oil from my hands with an old rag. "Couldn't sleep. Figured I'd get this oil change done." She's wearing her silk nightgown, the blue one I bought her for our anniversary last year. Her hair is messed up in that way that suggests she's been lying down, and there's a flush to her cheeks that has nothing to do with the summer heat. "You work too hard," she says, and leans down to kiss my forehead. Her lips are warm and soft and taste like lies. "Come inside, it's late." "I'll be in soon," I tell her, and my voice sounds perfectly normal, perfectly calm. "Just need to finish up here." She nods and heads back toward the house, her hips swaying in that deliberate way she's perfected over the years. I watch her go and think about how easy it would be to confront her right now, to demand answers, to have the big dramatic scene that would wake up the neighbors and give the town gossip something to chew on for months. But I don't, because I've learned something important in my 43 years on this planet. The best revenge isn't hot, it's ice cold and perfectly calculated. Instead, I finish changing the oil, clean up my tools, and head inside. Jennifer is already in bed, pretending to be asleep, and I slip into the bathroom to wash the grease from my hands. Might not be home until 10 or 11. Of course, I say. Work hard. She looks at me sharply, like she's trying to figure out if there's sarcasm in my voice, but I keep my expression perfectly neutral. After 18 years of marriage, I've learned to hide my thoughts when necessary. Emma's still sleeping, she says. Can you make sure she eats something? She's been so stressed about school. Sure thing. Jennifer grabs her briefcase and heads for the door, then stops and turns back. David, is everything okay? You seem, I don't know, different. I look up from my newspaper and smile. Everything's fine, Jen, just tired. She nods, but I can see the uncertainty in her eyes. Good. Uncertainty is the first crack in the foundation. By the time I'm finished, that crack will be a canyon. After she leaves, I sit at the kitchen table and make a list. Not on paper, I'm not stupid, but in my head, organizing the tasks like I would any complex engineering project. Step 1, gather intelligence. Step 2, secure assets. Step 3, execute withdrawal. Step 4, watch the world burn. Emma comes downstairs around 9, her hair a mess, wearing an oversized t-shirt and pajama pants. Morning, Dad, she mumbles, heading straight for the coffee pot. Morning, sweetheart. Sleep okay? She pours herself a cup and adds enough sugar to fuel a small aircraft. Not really. Mom was on the phone pretty late. Oh? Work stuff? Emma looks at me over her coffee mug, and I can see she's trying to decide how much to tell me. She's always been caught in the middle when Jennifer and I have our problems, and I hate that she's in this position again. Dad, she says finally, you know Jake's been coming around a lot, right? I've noticed. And you're okay with that? I fold my newspaper and look at my daughter. Really look at her. She has Jennifer's eyes, but my stubborn chin, and right now she looks like she's carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. What do you think I should do about it, Emma? She sets down her coffee and comes to sit across from me at the table. I think you should fight for her. I think you should tell Jake to stay away and remind Mom what she has here. And if she doesn't want to be reminded? Emma's eyes fill with tears, and I reach across to squeeze her hand. Honey, sometimes people make choices that hurt the people they love. When that happens, the people who got hurt have to decide what they're willing to accept and what they're not. So you're just going to give up? I'm not giving up on anything important, I tell her, but I'm also not going to fight for someone who doesn't want to be fought for. She nods like she understands, but I can see she doesn't. Not really. How could she? She's 21 years old and still believes that love conquers all, that people can change, that families stay together if everyone just tries hard enough. I believed that once too. After Emma leaves to meet her friends at the mall, I drive to the bank, First National Bank of Bleakwater, where Jennifer and I have had our joint accounts for 15 years, the same bank where I've been quietly moving money into a separate account for the past 6 months, not because I suspected anything, but because I've learned to prepare for contingencies. Good morning, Mr. Mitchell, says Carol behind the counter. That gives us some time to talk. Jennifer's face goes pale and she clutches her bathrobe tighter around her chest. Talk about what? Nothing dramatic, I say, and my voice is perfectly calm. Just some changes I'm making. Starting tomorrow, you'll need to handle the household expenses from your own account. I've closed our joint accounts. You what? I closed our joint accounts, moved the money into my business account. Don't worry, the mortgage and utilities are covered for the next 6 months. After that, we'll see. Jennifer stares at me like I've just announced I'm joining the circus. David, you can't just, why would you do that? Because I felt like it. But we've had those accounts for 15 years, and now we don't. She sits down across from me, and I can see her mind racing, trying to figure out what this means, what prompted it, how much I know. Is this about something? Are you upset about something? I finish my beer and stand up. I'm going to pack a bag. I'll be staying at Murphy's place for a while. Murphy's place? David, what's going on? You're scaring me. Nothing's going on, Jennifer. I'm just making some changes. I head upstairs to our bedroom, the bedroom where my wife entertained her lover less than an hour ago, and pack a suitcase with clothes and toiletries. I can hear Jennifer downstairs, pacing around the kitchen, probably trying to figure out if she should call Jake or her lawyer or her best friend Claire. When I come back downstairs with my suitcase, she's standing by the front door like she's trying to block my exit. David, please, can we just talk about this? Whatever's wrong, we can fix it. Nothing's wrong, I tell her, and I realize that for the first time in months, that's actually true. I'm just tired of being taken for granted. I don't take you for granted. Sure you do. We both know it. The question is what we're going to do about it. So you're just leaving? After 18 years, you're just walking away? I look at my wife, really look at her, and try to remember when I stopped seeing her as the woman I fell in love with and started seeing her as the person who lies to me every day. I'm not walking away from anything that was real, I tell her. I'm just done pretending that what we have now is worth fighting for. I kiss her forehead the same way she kissed mine last night when she was fresh from planning her next rendezvous with Jake, and I walk out the front door of my house for the last time. Murphy's apartment sits about his gym, a sparse but clean space that smells like leather and liniment. He's been letting me crash on his couch for the past week, asking no questions and offering no advice unless I ask for it first. It's exactly what I need right now, a place to think and plan without Jennifer's voice in my ear, asking what's wrong, begging me to come home, promising that things will be different. Things will be different, all right, just not in the way she's hoping. I'm sitting at Murphy's kitchen table at 6 in the morning, drinking coffee and going through my laptop, when my phone starts buzzing with another call from Jennifer. It's the fourth one since midnight. I let it go to voicemail, just like I have with the previous 37 calls over the past week. You gonna answer that eventually? Murphy asks, shuffling into the kitchen in his bathrobe and slippers. Eventually, I say, but not today. Murphy pours himself coffee and sits down across from me. You know, I've seen a lot of guys go through this kind of thing. The ones who handle it best are the ones who make clean breaks. No drama, no big scenes, just gone. That's the plan. And the ones who handle it worst are the ones who try to get revenge. They spend so much time thinking about payback that they forget to build something new. I look up from my laptop. You think I'm making a mistake? I think you're smarter than most of the guys who come through here. But I also think you're angry, and angry people make stupid choices. Murphy's right about the anger, but he's wrong about the stupid choices. Every move I'm making is carefully calculated, designed to achieve maximum impact with minimum risk. I'm not looking for revenge, I'm looking for justice. There's a difference. My phone buzzes with a text from Emma. Dad, please call me. Mom's freaking out and I don't know what to tell her. I type back, tell her I'm fine, I'll call you later. When are you coming home? I'm not. There's a long pause. Then, what does that mean? It means I'm not coming home, sweetheart. Your mother and I are done. Because of Jake? I stare at the phone for a long moment. Emma knows. Of course she knows. She's been watching this train wreck unfold for months, probably hoping I'd figure it out before it got this far. Because of a lot of things, I type. But yes, Jake is part of it. I'm sorry, Dad. I should have told you. This isn't your fault, Emma. None of it. Can I see you? I'm going crazy here. I think about that. Emma is caught in the middle of this mess, and she doesn't deserve to suffer because her mother can't keep her commitments and her father has finally had enough. Meet me at Rosie's Diner at noon, I text. David, your wife thinks you've had some kind of mental breakdown. She's ready to call the police and report you missing. I'm not missing. I'm just not available. What does that mean? It means I'm taking some time to think about my marriage and decide what I want to do next. There's a pause, and I can practically hear Claire's brain working, trying to figure out how much I know and how much damage control she needs to do. David, I think there might be some misunderstandings that need to be cleared up. Oh, I don't think there are any misunderstandings, Claire. I think everything is perfectly clear. Maybe we could meet for coffee, just to talk? I don't think that's a good idea.
David, please, Jennifer is my best friend, and I hate seeing her so upset. Then maybe you should have thought about that before you helped her sneak around behind my back. Another pause, longer this time. I don't know what you mean. Sure you do. You've been covering for her for months, providing alibis, making excuses, probably even hosting some of their little rendezvous. Don't insult my intelligence by pretending otherwise. David, I hang up before she can finish the sentence. Within 5 minutes, my phone is buzzing with text from Jennifer. Claire says you're acting crazy. Please come home so we can talk about this. I delete the message without responding and drive back to Murphy's place. How'd it go today? Murphy asks when I walk in. According to my wife's best friend, I'm acting crazy. Are you? Probably, but it's the good kind of crazy, the kind that comes from finally seeing things clearly. Murphy nods and goes back to watching television.
Tommy Brennan runs the best private investigation service in 3 counties, and he owes me a favor from 5 years ago when I helped him design a surveillance system for a cheating spouse case. He's also one of the few people in Bleakwater who can keep his mouth shut when it matters. David Mitchell, he says when I walk into his office above the pawn shop on Elm Street. I heard you dropped off the face of the earth. Something like that. I need your help, Tommy. What kind of help? I sit down in the chair across from his desk and pull out a manila folder containing everything I've gathered so far. Bank records, phone bills, credit card statements, and a timeline of Jennifer's activities over the past 6 months. I need you to document my wife's affair. Photos, video, whatever you can get. But I need it done quietly, and I need it done fast. Tommy opens the folder and whistles low. You've been busy. This is some serious detective work. I'm an engineer. I like documentation. What are you planning to do with this stuff? Nothing illegal. I just want to make sure I have all the facts before I make my next move. Tommy studies me for a long moment. You know, most guys in your situation want me to catch their wives in the act so they can use it in divorce court, but you don't seem interested in divorce court. I'm not. So what's the end game here? I lean back in my chair and think about how to explain it. Have you ever seen a magic trick, Tommy? The kind where the magician makes something disappear? Sure. The secret isn't in making the object vanish. The secret is in making the audience forget it was ever there in the first place. Tommy grins. That's either the smartest thing I've ever heard or the craziest. Probably both. We spend the next hour going over the details. Tommy will follow Jennifer and Jake for the next week, documenting their meetings, their routines, and their careless mistakes. He'll also do background checks on both of them, looking for information that might be useful later. One more thing, I tell him as I'm getting ready to leave. I need you to find out everything you can about Claire Hoffman, your wife's best friend. Why? Because she's been helping Jennifer cover up the affair, and I want to know what else she might be hiding. Tommy makes a note in his file. Anything specific I should look for? Financial problems, relationship issues, workplace drama, anything that might make her vulnerable to pressure. You really have thought this through, haven't you? Like I said, I'm an engineer. I like to have all the variables accounted for. From Tommy's office, I drive to the Bleakwater Community Center, where Claire Hoffman teaches yoga classes 3 nights a week. I don't go inside, that would be too obvious, but I sit in the parking lot and watch her interact with her students. She's attractive in that carefully maintained way that requires a lot of time and money, and she carries herself with the confidence of someone who's used to getting what she wants. What she wants, apparently, is my wife's husband. My phone, which I turned back on after leaving Tommy's office, immediately starts buzzing with missed calls and text messages. 17 calls from Jennifer, 12 from Emma, and 3 from numbers I don't recognize. When she finds out the truth, it's going to destroy her. Not because she'll feel betrayed by him, she's already too deep for that, but because it will force her to confront something far worse, that none of this was special, that she wasn't chosen, she was selected, profiled, fit neatly into a pattern he's perfected over years. Realizing you weren't loved, only used, does more damage than any exposure ever could. But not yet. First, I need to set up the dominoes. The next morning, I drive to Claire's house, a modest colonial in a neighborhood that used to be middle class, but is now sliding toward shabby. The kind of place where pride lingers longer than money. Her lawn needs cutting,
The hedges are overgrown, and the gutters sag under the weight of neglect. There's a yellow notice from the city taped to her front door about unpaid water bills, curling at the edges like it's been there a while. I park across the street and take a moment before getting out. This isn't anger driving me, it's logistics. I ring the doorbell and wait. No answer. I ring again. Footsteps shuffle inside, slow and hesitant. After a few minutes, Claire opens the door, and I can see immediately that Tommy's information was accurate. She looks like she hasn't slept in days. Her eyes are rimmed red, her hair is unwashed and pulled back without care, and she's wearing the same clothes she had on yesterday. Or maybe the day before. "David, what are you doing here?" Her voice jumps an octave, surprise colliding with relief. "I wanted to talk to you, Claire, about Jennifer." "Oh, thank God," she exhales, shoulders dropping. "She's been so worried about you. We all have." The lie is reflexive, comforting, automatic.
Why? Because you've been helping my wife cheat on me, I say, and I wanted to know what kind of person would do that to a friend. Claire looks up, eyes swollen and red, mascara streaking down her cheeks. David, I never meant for any of this to happen. Jennifer came to me for advice. I told her she should work things out with you. I did, but she said she was in love with Jake. She begged me to help her. So you did? I gave her alibis a few times, let her use my apartment once or twice, but I never encouraged her to cheat on you, I swear. I didn't push her toward him. It doesn't matter now, Claire. I shake my head slightly. What's done is done. She wipes her face with the sleeve of her shirt, breathing unevenly. Fear replaces grief in her eyes, the fear of exposure, of consequences finally catching up. Are you going to tell Jennifer about my gambling? That depends. On what? I sit down across from her and lean forward. On whether you're willing to help me with something. Claire stares at me like I've just suggested we rob a bank together. Help you with what? I want you to tell Jennifer that I've been living with you for the past year, that we've been having an affair, and that you're pregnant with my baby. What? David, that's crazy. Why would I do that? Because I'm going to pay off your debts and give you $50,000 to start over somewhere else. Claire's mouth falls open. You're serious? Completely serious. I'll transfer the money to your account today, and you can pay off your mortgage, your credit cards, and anything else you owe. Then she stands up so quickly that she knocks over her chair. She says something to Claire, I can't hear what, but her body language suggests it's not pleasant, and storms out of the restaurant. Phase 1 is complete. Now comes the fun part. Jennifer's car is in the driveway when I pull up to what used to be our house. She's sitting on the front porch steps, still wearing the dress she had on at lunch with Claire, but now it's wrinkled and her makeup is smeared from crying. She looks up when she sees me, and the expression on her face is unlike anything I've ever seen before, a mixture of rage, hurt, and complete bewilderment. You son of a dog, she says as I walk up the sidewalk. Hello, Jennifer. How was lunch? How was lunch? How was lunch? She stands up, and for a moment, I think she might actually hit me. Claire told me everything, David. Everything. Did she? A year, David. A whole year you've been sleeping with my best friend, and I never suspected a thing. Ironic, isn't it? Jennifer stares at me like she's seeing a stranger. Who are you? This isn't the man I married. The David I know would never do something like this. You're right. The David you married was a fool who trusted his wife and believed her lies. That David is gone. So you decided to get revenge by seducing my best friend? I decided to show you what it feels like to be betrayed by someone you trust. Jennifer starts pacing back and forth across the porch, her hands clenched into fists. I can't believe this. I can't believe you would stoop to this level. What level is that, Jennifer? The level where I have an affair behind your back? The level where I lie to your face every day?
It's mine, and it stays mine. You can't just disappear, David. There are legal obligations, financial responsibilities. I'm not disappearing, I'm just not available to you anymore. I get in my truck and start the engine, but Jennifer grabs the door handle. Where are you going to live? With Claire. For how long? For as long as it takes. Takes for what? For you to understand what you've lost. I pull out the driveway and leave Jennifer standing in the yard, watching me drive away from the life we built together. In my rearview mirror, I can see her collapse back onto the porch steps, and for a moment, I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. My phone starts ringing before I'm even out of the neighborhood. It's Emma. The timing feels intentional, like the universe making sure I don't get too comfortable with my sense of closure. Dad, what the hell is going on? Mom just called me, screaming about you and Claire Hoffman. Please tell me it's not true. Her voice is sharp, raw, with panic and anger layered together. She's not asking as my daughter right now. She's asking as someone's foundation just shifted again. It's complicated, sweetheart. It's not complicated, she snaps. Either you're sleeping with Mom's best friend or you're not. I pull over to the side of the road, hazard lights blinking, the engine idling like it's waiting for me to decide what kind of man I'm going to be in the next 5 minutes. Emma deserves the truth, but the truth isn't clean, and it isn't kind. I rub my face and stare out at a row of identical houses, all of them pretending nothing inside them is ever broken. Emma, there are things about your mother's behavior that you don't know about. I know about Jake, Dad.
I've known for months. Her voice drops, wounded. But that doesn't justify you having an affair with Claire. You're right, I say, quietly. It doesn't justify anything, but it explains it. So you admit it? She fires back. You're having an affair? I admit that your mother and I are getting divorced, I say carefully, choosing each word like it might cut someone, and that I won't be living in that house anymore. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I can give you right now. There's a long silence on the line, not dropped, not muted, just Emma breathing, recalibrating. Dad, I don't know who you are anymore. This isn't like you at all. The words sting more than I expect. Maybe you never really knew me. That's a terrible thing to say. It's an honest thing to say. Another pause, softer now. I don't want to choose between you and Mom. Then don't, I say. You're an adult, Emma. You can have a relationship with both of us, or neither of us, or whatever feels right to you. But I have to choose sides, don't I? She asks. That's how these things work. Only if you want to. She doesn't respond right away. When she finally does, it's quieter, less certain. I need time. I know. We hang up without saying goodbye. After I hang up with Emma, I drive straight to Tommy Brennan's office to get an update on his surveillance of Jake Morrison. I need something concrete, something that doesn't shift with emotions or perspective. Tommy's office smells like stale coffee and printer toner. He doesn't waste time with small talk. Your boy Jake is getting sloppy, Tommy says, sliding a thick envelope across the desk. He's been meeting your wife at hotels in broad daylight, restaurants too. He's seen enough fights to understand strategy, and he's lived long enough to know that sometimes the best revenge is patience. My phone buzzes with a text from Claire. I told her. She believed me. When do I get the money? I type back. Tomorrow. Are you ready to leave town? More than ready. This place has nothing left for me. Good. I'll have the money transferred to your account in the morning. After that, you disappear permanently. What if Jennifer tries to contact me? Tell her you're moving to California to start over. Give her a fake address and a disconnected phone number. Make her believe you're really pregnant and that I'm really the father. For how long? Forever. The next morning, I transfer $55,000 to Claire's bank account and watch her pack her belongings into a rental truck. She's moving fast, like someone fleeing a crime scene, which isn't far from the truth. You know, she says as she loads the last box into the truck, I actually feel bad about lying to Jennifer. She really did think of me as her best friend. She thought of you as someone she could use to cover up her affair. There's a difference. Maybe, but still. Still nothing, Claire. You made your choice when you decided to help her cheat on me.
Now you're making another choice by helping me get even. Both choices have consequences. Claire nods and climbs into the rental truck.
What are you going to do now? Now, I'm going to show Jake Morrison what it feels like to lose everything he's worked for. And Jennifer? Jennifer's going to learn that actions have consequences and that some mistakes can't be fixed with apologies and promises to do better. After Claire drives away, I go back to Tommy's office to review his latest findings about Jake Morrison's financial situation. Your boy Jake is leveraged up to his eyeballs, Tommy says, spreading financial documents across his desk. He's got loans on his gym equipment, a mortgage on his condo, car payments on that Camaro, and credit card debt that would choke a horse. How much debt? Total, probably close to $300,000. And his income? Hard to say exactly, but based on his client list and what he charges, maybe $60,000 a year. Good money, but not enough to service that kind of debt load. So he's living beyond his means? Way beyond his means. Guy's one missed payment away from bankruptcy. I study Jake's financial records and see a pattern of reckless spending and poor decision-making. The expensive gym equipment, the fancy condo, the flashy car, all of it financed with borrowed money that he can barely afford to repay. What happens if his business starts losing clients? I ask. He's screwed. No way he can make his payments without a steady income stream. And what might cause him to lose clients? Tommy grins. Oh, I don't know. Maybe if word got around about his history of seducing married women. Maybe if some of his female clients started feeling uncomfortable about his intentions.
What happened? She had some kind of breakdown yesterday. Started screaming at Jake in the middle of Main Street, accusing him of using her and ruining her life. Someone called the police, and when they tried to calm her down, she collapsed. Is she okay? Physically, yes. Mentally, I don't know. The doctors want to keep her for observation. I feel a flicker of guilt, but I push it aside. Jennifer made her choices, and now she's dealing with the consequences. That's not my fault. Have you been to see her? I tried, but she won't see me. She keeps asking for you. I'm not going to see her, Emma. Dad, please. I know you're angry, and I know she screwed up, but she needs help. She needs to face reality, something she's been avoiding for months. What reality? The reality that Jake Morrison never loved her. The reality that she threw away 18 years of marriage for a man who's used the same playbook on dozens of other women. The reality that her best friend was willing to betray her for money. Emma is quiet for a long moment. Claire's really pregnant with your baby? I think about how to answer that question. The lie has served its purpose. It destroyed Jennifer's faith in everyone she trusted. But Emma deserves better than lies. No, sweetheart. Claire isn't pregnant. What? Claire Hoffman was never pregnant, and I never had an affair with her. I paid her to tell your mother that story. You what? I paid Claire to lie to your mother about having an affair with me. It was revenge for helping your mother cover up her affair with Jake. Emma doesn't say anything for several seconds. When she finally speaks, her voice is barely a whisper. Dad, that's...
The bar hums quietly around us. Glasses clinking, a low laugh somewhere down the counter. Life continuing without caring who won or lost. What will you do with your business? Murphy asks. Sell it. I've got a buyer lined up. One of my competitors who's been trying to acquire my client list for years. He nods, unsurprised. Clean exit. And the house? Let Jennifer keep it. Along with the mortgage payments she can't afford and the maintenance costs she never thought about. Murphy exhales slowly. That's cold. That's justice. Not loud, not dramatic, just accurate. Murphy raises his beer. To justice, then. To justice. The next morning, I pack the last of my belongings into my truck and drive through Bleakwater one final time. The air is sharp and early, the town half awake, unaware that I'm already gone. I pass the gym where I learned to fight back, not with fists, but with patience. Past the diner where I met Emma for what might be the last time, both of us pretending we understood what goodbye meant. Past the house where I lived for 15 years with a woman who never really saw me. At the town limits, I stop and look back at the place where I was born, where I grew up, where I built a life that turned out to be built on lies. The streets look smaller from here, less important, like something already fading. Then I turn around and drive west, toward the mountains and the future and whatever comes next. Behind me, Jennifer is probably waking up in her hospital bed, wondering why her husband won't come to see her, why her lover has abandoned her, why her best friend has disappeared.
She'll spend the rest of her life trying to figure out how everything went so wrong so quickly, never fully accepting that it didn't happen to her. It happened because of her. Jake Morrison is probably driving toward Pittsburgh, running from his creditors and his past, not knowing that both are catching up with him faster than he can run. He'll tell himself he just needs one more reset, one more city, one more chance to start over. Emma is probably trying to decide whether she can forgive her father for becoming someone she doesn't recognize, not understanding that sometimes people have to become monsters to survive, and that monsters aren't always the ones who roar. And I'm driving toward a new life, carrying the satisfaction of knowing that everyone who betrayed me finally understands the cost of their choices. The road ahead is long and empty, and for the first time in years, I'm exactly where I want to be.